Hello my friends and welcome to the cave. So I thought we'd kick off this brand new channel with a brand new series that is going to be titled 1001 Films I Must Review Before I Die, which is an obvious riff on the book series 1001 X You Must Consume Before You Die. Whether or not I actually review 1001 films remains to be seen. I mean, number one, we're off to a promising start, just a thousand to go. But the overall point is that I'm pushing myself to watch more films, to kind of engage with them more so I can write better and more constructive reviews, but also to watch a more diverse range of films, including ones that are kind of classic or historically significant for whatever reason. So basically all those films that I've been meaning to watch for years, like, I'll get round to it. In particular, we're going to be targeting things like IMDb's top 250 list, Empire Magazine's top 500 list, perhaps the actual book 1001 Films You Must Watch Before You Die, random, film lists on the internet like, oh, you must watch this film, but also just any other films that I do end up watching. I'll be like, hey look, review on YouTube, great. But it should be interesting, it should be good fun, and I thank you if you choose to join me on this journey of cinematic discovery. So I thought we'd kick things off with the most recent film that I watched, which was a newly added Netflix original called The Fundamentals of Caring. It opens with this really interesting exposition where we hear a woman presenting like this sort of power course on what we can only assume is the fundamentals of caring. Sort of like this, like a 3-week course or something, to become a home carer for disabled and or elderly people. And it's like, the stuff that she's saying is actually, it seems quite important. Like, it's important to take care of yourself first and foremost, so that you're in a better state of mind and therefore better able to give support and care unto others. However, the importance of the things that she's saying is kind of being undermined by the fact that it's just being delivered in this really dull, drab, droning voice. All the while this speech is kind of being juxtaposed with a montage that introduces us to Paul Rudd's character, Benjamin, who is clearly pretty depressed and he's dealing with a lot of stuff. We come to learn that even though he's been divorced from his wife for over 3 years, he still can't kind of process it properly, and he's actually refusing to sign the divorce papers because he's not in the right mental or emotional state to properly finalize things. And so because of this, we see all sorts of shots where he's like being pursued by people with court orders, or there's one where he's like kind of lying awake in bed, like just this really vacant expression, just staring into space while up at the ceiling, while the curtains are drawn and there's just this furious pounding at the door, like, open up, I'm gonna come in there, I have a court order. And it just sets this incredibly dark tone, because it's clear that the man cannot care for himself. And so there's this sense of irony in the fact that he's abandoned his career as like a would-be writer to, in essence, attempt to care for other people. But you kind of get the feeling that he thinks through helping others it's going to help him to help himself. So he completes the course and he manages to secure himself an interview for a full-time caring position, and we're introduced to a young man named Trevor. He's played by that kid from Submarine, which is another film I haven't watched yet. Trevor is a kind of direct counterpoint to Ben, because he just has this really dark sense of humour. He suffers from this genetic disorder called Duchenne muscular dystrophy, which essentially is like a degenerative muscle disease that has him wheelchair bound. He has great difficulty with movement, and the doctors have not given him long to live at all. Yet still he makes all of these self-deprecating jokes where he refers to himself as retarded, and he makes light of his own anxiety and things like that. And so the bulk of the plot revolves around these two characters and kind of how they interact and almost help each other to grow. Because there's this weird dynamic between them where you kind of perceive it as like a father-son type thing, but there's almost like a sibling sort of thing in there as well, because Trevor often winds him up. Like there's a lot of times, because obviously he can't move, he needs help going to the toilet and things like that. So there'll be times when Ben's trying to help him go to the toilet and he's just like wheeling away in this wheelchair, and it's just this really kind of comedic atmosphere when really the subject matter is pretty dark. Trevor is kind of set in his ways. He's very particular. He has a specific routine, and if things divulge from the routine even a little bit, he's prone to fits of anxiety. But he has this habit of watching TV shows about ridiculously cheesy American roadside destinations, like, you know, the world's largest ball of twine, or the world's largest cow, and things like that. And he's got them all marked on this map. So inevitably they end up going on this massive road trip to see some of these destinations for themselves. Obviously bringing the characters out of their shells and helping them to kind of confront the demons that they've been trailing along with them on this journey of self-discovery. But it is really nice. It's like this journey of friendship. There are some pretty uncomfortable moments where it's quite tense, because due to the kind of fractured nature of their mental states, because these are two very troubled characters, they can be prone to some really erratic outbursts that can feel quite out of place, and obviously uncomfortable to watch, but then also due to the kind of mental difficulties that the characters are experiencing, they are understandable. And it's not just these two. There are some peripheral characters, though they are predominantly kind of just tacked on to enhance the narrative of our principles. But there are other characters that kind of warrant talking about. There's one character called Peaches, who I feel just really wasn't developed at all, which is quite sad, because she does have some interesting backstory, but it's just never explored in that much depth. She's predominantly, she's more of a symbol than an actual character in her own right, which is just sad. But on the other hand, I do think that Selena Gomez did a really good job as the kind of love interest. She's a very polarizing character that helps to bring out the best in both Trevor and Ben for different reasons. But she's a very key part of some of the most touching scenes in the entire movie. Whilst the ending felt a little rushed with too many unanswered questions for my liking, overall it was good fun and it was an enjoyable film. What started out as quite a dark take on both physical and mental difficulties kind of flourished into this heartwarming tale about overcoming them, and about how caring for yourself and others is a surefire way to bring out the best in you. It's definitely a bumpy road, sometimes quite literally because they're on a road trip, but towards the end of the film there's this one scene that's like a really perverse twist on the "I can fly, Jack" scene from Titanic, and it's just the best thing I've seen. It sums up the kind of the humor and the sentiment of the film so well in just this one little scene. Oh, it was brilliant. So genuinely, if you have a Netflix account or you have access to one, I think it is well worth checking out this film, even if it's just for the humor. But yeah, that just about kind of wraps things up. If you have any opinions you'd like to share, please do leave those down in the comments. Also any films that you think I should watch, because chances are, it's a typical film. I probably haven't seen it, or I have, but I could do with watching it again with like a fresh set of eyes, you know, looking at things from an analytical perspective. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you would like to stay tuned for more videos about films, TV shows, video games, trading cards, and all sorts of other geeky stuff, that is what this new channel is for. So do subscribe to stick around. And yeah, I hope you're having a really good day. I'll see you in the next video. Please watch it.